My beloved child, in this murky world where truth is so often distorted, where the light is easily overshadowed by glittering illusions, you will frequently hear the deceptive whispers of life. This world, filled with cunning schemes, will ceaselessly murmur in your ear that you are only worthy if you succeed, if you gain prestige, if you possess dazzling things on the outside. It will place upon your shoulders a heavy burden, compelling you to constantly prove yourself, to climb ladder after ladder that seemingly never ends. But my beloved child, do not be deceived. Those whispers do not come from me. I am the one who created you not so you would live trapped in an endless cycle of man-made expectations, but so you would live with the understanding that you are already precious not because of what you can do, but because of who you are. When everything around you makes you feel like you're not enough, not good enough, not beautiful enough, not capable enough, remember that I loved you even when you were still unseen. I have loved you with an everlasting love, therefore I have drawn you with loving kindness. Jeremiah 31:3. That is not a fleeting promise, but an eternal truth that cannot be shaken. In this world of striving and pushing, where each step can cause you to stumble, it is easy to feel weary, confused, and doubtful of yourself. You may be lured by enticing voices of fame, of wealth, of human praise, and gradually forget the tender yet unwavering voice of mine. These things may bring temporary satisfaction, but they will soon leave an emptiness, a loneliness, a deep sense of being lost, one that only I can fill. The enemy doesn't always appear in terrifying form. Sometimes, he just quietly pours a little doubt into your mind, a touch of insecurity, a small lie, and if you are not awake, it will slowly grow, overtaking the truth I've sown in your heart. He will make you believe that drifting from my presence is normal, that you don't need to pray today, that one small compromise doesn't matter. But my beloved child, it is those very small steps, repeated, that will slowly lead you away from where you belong. No one falls in an instant. Collapse usually begins like a gentle breeze, quiet, almost unnoticeable. It starts when you stop listening to me each morning. Then comes the moment when my words no longer seem as important. Day by day, the distance between us stretches, not because I have moved, but because you have stopped turning back. And when you finally realize, the darkness has already covered your soul. But my precious child, even in that darkness, I still see you. I do not turn away when you fall. Every tear you've shed in silence, I was there. Every time you felt too weak to go on, I was reaching out, ready to lift you, to wipe your tears, and to remind you, you have never been forsaken. My love does not change with your fleeting emotions. My grace is not limited by the mistakes you've made. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you even in your weakness. I do not love you because you always do right. I love you even when you are lost. My love for you is unlike anything you have ever known. It is unconditional, unbounded, and irrevocable. This life is full of storms, full of trials, and sometimes it may feel as if you are struggling alone in the middle of an endless ocean. But let me remind you of this. I am your sure refuge in the storm. I may not always calm the winds immediately, but I will always be there beside you, walking with you through it. And it is in the trials that you will learn resilience. In the brokenness, you will see my healing. In the lack, you will find my sufficiency. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't need to strain to prove to the world that you are worthy. Come to me in your truest self with your wounds, your frailty, your shattered pieces, for I am the one who turns ashes into beauty, tears into songs, and the darkest days into testimonies of my power and love. Every time you kneel, though your prayer remains unspoken, I already understand. Every time you sigh, I am listening. I do not ask you to be perfect before drawing near. On the contrary, I invite you to come just as you are. Nothing within you scares me or pushes me away. Even if you walk to the very ends of despair, I remain the light at the end of that road. Do not let this noisy world with its constant comparisons and relentless demands make you forget who formed you. You are my masterpiece. A marvelous work not because of worldly success, but because my hands formed you. Every breath you take is proof of my unchanging love. When you feel like just a single drop in the vast ocean, remember that to me. You are the entire world. No one else can take your place in my heart. No one else can bring me the joy that only you can bring. You are the one I have chosen, not because you are perfect, but because I love you with a love that cannot be moved. Come home. No matter how far you've wandered, you have never left my sight. My arms are always open not to scold you, but to embrace you, not to remind you of your failures, but to begin a new chapter, a chapter where you no longer have to strive to be enough, because, in my love, you always have been. My child, do not let the noise of life drown out my whisper. Do not let false lights dim the true light that comes from me. And when you are lost, remember, just one step back, and I am already there. No delay, no hesitation, for I am the Father, the one who never abandons his beloved children. You are not a product of chance, nor a forgotten fragment in the rushing current of time. Your existence is not the result of random events, but a living testimony of a profound and loving plan from the one who created the universe. Before anyone ever knew your name, I knew you. Before your first cry, I engraved you on the palm of my hand. You are a masterpiece I fashioned, not as a number among many, but as a one-of-a-kind creation, woven from the very breath of my being. The breaths you draw each day are more than biological functions. They are powerful evidence that you are still alive for a sacred purpose. Every heartbeat, every flicker in your eyes is a gentle reminder that you were made not just to exist, but to live fully in a mission written for you from the very beginning. A mission that cannot be stolen by the apathy of everyday life or the seductive call of hollow worldly values. You were not born to be lost within the barren walls of duty and expectations, but to walk in intimacy with me, the one who created you, not in distant fear, nor through cold rituals, but through a sweet, deep, and intimate connection like a child, recognizing the tender voice of their beloved Father. This relationship is not built on your perfection, but on my unshakable love. I do not hide myself in distant heavens, nor reserve my presence only as a reward for the strong or successful. I am here present in every breath. In every still moment your soul senses. I speak continually, not in thunder or spectacle, but through the gentle threads woven into the quietest corners of your heart. Can you feel it? Do you hear my voice echoing among the clamor of this world? Do not let the noise of worldly vanities drown out the pure sound that comes from me. Achievements, praise, even failures and wounds, none of these can obscure my gentle yet persistent invitation to you. Come home, not to a religion, not to rigid rules, but to the very place you were created to belong, to the arms of the Father, where you no longer have to strive to be loved, where you don't need to struggle to be seen. For there, you have always been loved, always been known. Perhaps you have wandered far, paused at unfamiliar crossroads, where your soul no longer felt the warmth of my presence. Perhaps you've allowed voices of doubt to steal away your original innocence. But I never left. I have always been right there waiting, loving, and hoping you would notice my footprints beside you along the journey. No matter how far you go, there is no darkness so deep that my light cannot pierce it. When you are weary from the burdens of daily life, when the wounds in your heart tempt you to give up, let me be the place where you rest your head. When you question your worth, when you wonder whether your presence in this world means anything, let me remind you, you are my reflection. You carry within you the breath of the Creator, the potential to reflect love, life, and light to this world. Do not let narrow human definitions suffocate what I have planted within you. I did not create you to live in someone else's shadow. I shaped you with your own distinct colors, with a heart that can feel deeply and a soul attuned to the eternal rhythm. This was no accident. It is my declaration of the worth and beauty I placed in you before the foundation of the world. There will be moments when you feel lost, when questions like, "Who am I?" and "What am I here for?" weigh heavily with no answers. Yet it is precisely in those moments that, if you quiet your soul and listen, you will hear a voice from the depths. You are mine, not the world's, not pains, not failures, but mine, the one who knows every cell, every thought, every unfulfilled dream within you. Let your soul come alive again, not by trying harder, not by proving yourself worthy, but simply by opening your heart and allowing me to enter. Let my love rekindle the small flames that have long died in your heart, letting rays of hope stream through the cracks you thought were dead. I do not promise the journey will always be easy, but I promise you will never walk it alone. And no matter how tired, lost, or weak you feel, my hand remains extended, not to force, but to lift you up, not to judge, but to heal. Remember these words, my beloved. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you came out of the womb, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:11. No one can strip that identity from you. No fear can dim this truth. You are the one I have chosen, called by name, and loved with an unchanging love. So do not drift in the void, nor live as if you have no anchor. You have a place to belong, not measured by success or fame, but a place where your heart rests in my eternal love. That is where you truly live. That is where you become who you really are. That is where you begin to understand. This life is a sacred symphony, and I began its first movement with a gentle call. My child, come home. My dear one. I know what no one else may understand, the deep wounds carved into your soul, the unseen pain that quietly aches in the night. There was a time your heart was soft, open to the world, longing for love, believing in trust, and hoping for sincerity in return. But with every lie, every unexpected fall, every time you were left behind, you began to build walls for protection, to stop the hurt, just to survive. You've learned to bury your emotions, to brace yourself through dark days, to smile on the outside while storms rage within. Maybe at some point you believed you had to be strong all the time, to keep going, to prove you were fine, But my child, I see it all. I saw every time you buried your face in your pillow, every sob too heavy for words, every moment you wanted to give up but still chose to go on. I was there in every weary breath. In each moment you looked up to the sky and whispered, "Lord, I don't know what to do anymore." End of main. I am not blind to your loneliness. I am not deaf to the cry of your heart. And I am far from indifferent to the storms that rage inside you. You may hide from everyone else, but you cannot hide from me. And I did not come to judge you. I came to embrace you, to tell you that you no longer have to fight alone. I am your shelter, your unshakable fortress, immovable by any force. When everything around you trembles, when your trust in people is worn thin, I remain the faithful one, unchanging, unwavering. I am no stranger to the burdens you carry, knowing that you cannot carry them forever. I gave my only son not to teach you how to be perfect, but to bear what you could never carry, the pain you hide. He has borne the rejection you've endured. He has known every tear you've shed. He understands, for he too has wept. Freedom is not some distant dream reserved for heaven. It begins the moment you choose to return. When you decide not to cling to your pain as an inseparable part of who you are, but give it to me. When you stop relying on your own strength, stop grasping for control, and instead surrender yourself into my arms, the one who always waits, who never turns away. Surrendering to me is not weakness. It is courage, the bravery to believe there is a love greater than all your failures, a power strong enough to restore what you thought was lost forever. It is the first step in finding yourself, not the version the world forced you to become, but the true person I created, free, to whole, and fully loved. I am not shocked by the chaos within you. There is no fragment too shattered for me to mend. No mistake lies beyond the reach of my forgiveness. No past is too dark to block the future I've prepared for you. But the miracle only begins when you let go. Let go of the self-defense. Let go of the wounds you've carried like part of your identity. Let go of the pride that kept you from being vulnerable before me. I do not approach you with hands of judgment, but with the open arms of a father longing for his lost child to return. Not because I need you to be perfect before coming near. On the contrary, I've always been present, even when you felt broken and unworthy. What I long for is not moral performance, but a sincere heart willing to whisper, "I'm tired." Father, end of 4. It is from that moment resurrection begins. You may have been deceived into thinking you only have worth if you never stumble, if you're always strong, if you never show weakness. But the truth is, I love you even in your fragility. I do not turn away when you fall, on the contrary. That is when I draw nearest. I have always longed to be close to you, not to demand your worthiness, but to restore, to heal, to renew what has grown weary and worn. Healing does not arrive in the clamor. It doesn't come from trying to appear okay. It comes when you sit still, honest with yourself and with me. When you dare to confess, "I've been hurt. I am weary. I can't do this alone anymore." In that surrender, there is no shame, only freedom. Because in me, there is no condemnation, only love. My child, believe this. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5-7. Not just the great and heavy burdens, but even the smallest concerns, the silent obsessions, the unnamed wounds. I care about them all. You are never a burden to me. On the contrary, you are my joy. the reason I keep seeking, the reason I keep calling you home. Beloved one, even if your yesterday was steeped in sorrow, today, in me, is a new beginning. And this beginning does not come from your striving, but from my eternal love. Come, do not hesitate. Do not let shame hold you back. Do not let fear stop your steps. Step into the light, where my love will warm every cold and weary part of your heart. Let me wipe away your tears, soothe your wounds, and give you the peace this world cannot offer, nor take away. I am still waiting. My love is still outstretched. And you are still the one I have never stopped loving, never forgotten. So come back, not to prove anything, but simply to receive. Receive freedom, receive rest, and receive yourself again, the one I created with a heart full of love. Let me touch the deepest place in your heart, where pain once echoed so loudly, and now silence reigns in suffering. Let me rekindle the warmth in your soul, where hope seemed extinguished by disappointment and loss. My dear child, I did not come to accuse you, nor to demand that you be stronger. I came to embrace you in your weakest moment, to remind you that healing does not begin with effort, but with love, my eternal and unconditional love. I did not create you to merely drag yourself from one day to the next. Eyes sunken from sleepless nights, heart shut tight from past wounds. No, my child, I created you to live truly, to live fully in the light, to rejoice in a joy not born of circumstances, but of my unwavering presence. You were not only saved from something, but also saved into something, a life of purpose, designed by me. I have come that they may have life, and have it to the full. John 10:10, a promise unchanging. Even when your heart is not, there is a light I placed within you before you even knew my name. A light not dependent on moods or weather, not swayed by success or failure. It is my part in you, untouchable, unquenchable by any darkness. Even if you've stumbled, wandered, or allowed sorrow to cloud your vision, that light remains, waiting for you to return, for me to breathe it into flame once again. You are not forgotten. You are not a nameless face in a sea of strangers. You are the one I've preserved through every storm, not just to survive, but to rise for such a time as this. Look around, so many souls are fumbling in the dark. So many hearts are parched from the lack of true love. You were kept not only for yourself, you were given light to share it, to guide, to awaken hope in those who have none left. Into your hands I have placed a sacred treasure, not something to be spent lightly or forgotten. It is the living truth of my love, the presence I offer to those I cherish, the undiminished power of my spirit that dwells among you. You were not called to silence. You were not chosen to stand aside. I have called you to step forward, not with your perfection, but with my strength. Let your footsteps proclaim, I am yours, and you are mine. End quote. You will not walk this path alone. There may be days when your heart feels faint, when your feet grow tired. There may be moments when lies whisper in your ear that you are worthless, that you are not enough, that it is too late. But when those voices rise, let my words be the loudest in your mind. You are my child. No one else has the authority to define you but me. No mistake from your past can erase that truth. You have been chosen, called by name, and inscribed in the palm of my hand. No plan of the enemy can overtake my protection over you. No cruel word can stand against the truth I've declared. No force of darkness can reach you without passing through me. You are covered by the angels I've assigned, by my mercy, by the guarding power of my spirit, and I myself will fight for you. Go ahead of you, walk beside you in every step, and lift you up when your strength is gone. You have been sealed, not with ink, but with the living Spirit. That seal does not fade, cannot be erased. Nothing in this universe, neither death nor life, the present nor the future, can separate you from the love I have for you. When the world makes you question, when silence unsettles your soul, remember, you are still in my hand, the very hand that placed the stars in the sky, and also wipes away your tears. Do not wait for a perfect day to rise. Today, this seemingly ordinary moment is the day I am calling you to step out of your shell and live with true purpose. Do not wait until you feel strong enough, for strength will come as you walk in faith. Let me be your refuge, your voice, your energy for each step. I chose you not because you always get it right, but because I always love. And when you begin to live by that calling to live unhidden, unafraid, unashamed, the world around you will witness the miracle that real love still exists, that an inexhaustible source of life still flows, that a light still shines without end. And you are the one I have chosen to carry that light to them. Walk boldly, for I am with you. Lift your head, for you are deeply loved. Be steadfast, for no weapon formed against you shall prevail. Remember, nothing can shake the truth that you are mine, and I am yours. And in that truth, you will never be lost. Never, my beloved child. Do not let the shadow of fear chart your course. Do not surrender the wheel of your life to things that are not real, the harsh judgments of others, the criticisms that echo in your mind, or the quiet but powerful voice of old mistakes. None of these hold the right to shape you. I alone give you your identity. I alone author your story. And in every page of that journey, there is no chapter too far gone for me to rewrite with love. My child, I do not call you to come to me once you've become flawless. On the contrary, I long for you to draw near when your heart is still bleeding, when your hands are still trembling from weariness, when your soul is still filled with unanswered questions. That is the most precious moment, when you have nothing left to cling to, and you finally choose to place your trust fully in me. That is when I can work miracles. I am not the one who keeps his distance, waiting for you to fix yourself before I embrace you. I am the one who draws near slowly, gently, full of mercy, not to scold you, but to hold you, not to remind you of your failures, but to remind you of who you are in my eyes, a precious gem in the ashes, a tender branch coming back to life. My beloved child, one I will never forsake. I see the scars on your soul, the times you were rejected, the times you stumbled while just hoping to be lifted. Yet these very wounds, if you place them in my hands, will become testimony to my love and power. What the enemy once used to silence you, I will turn into a song of praise. What you believed were your weaknesses, I will use to glorify my name through your life. For my power is made perfect in weakness, 2 Corinthians 12-9. Do you believe that? I am the one who can turn every broken piece into a radiant masterpiece. Your mistakes do not drive me away. They are simply the raw material for a new symphony, one that echoes not with shame, but with hope. You don't have to wait until you're perfect to come close. Don't wait until you feel good enough. Come now with a melting heart, burdened shoulders, and a soul yearning for something deeper, something real. I am not disappointed in you, even when you are disappointed in yourself. I never stop hoping, never stop loving, never stop calling your name each and every day. I do not regret creating you. Every detail in you, from your fragile dreams to the parts you try to hide because you feel they're not enough, is part of the masterpiece I carefully shaped with my own hands. And though life may have covered you in layers of dust, that beauty has never disappeared. I see the light in you even when you no longer believe it's there. I delight in you not because you always get it right, but because you belong to me. You are the joy of my heart. When you breathe, I see the life I placed in you. When you whisper my name, all of heaven listens. When you fight silent battles no one else sees, I see them. I stand beside you. I fight with you. Do not fear failure. I am not shaken by your falls. No curse can bind you when I have called your name into the light. No circumstance can block the path of my love. When you walk in me, no weapon forged against you shall prevail. For I am not just the one who walks with you, I am the one who goes before you, preparing the way, fighting on your behalf, and covering you with my very presence. Begin again, not in your own strength, but in the promise I've placed over your life. Every dawn is a reminder that my grace is new each day. Live as one who has been forgiven, as one who is free, as one whose life carries a vibrant story not to keep hidden, but to shine for those still searching for the way home. My child, do not let the fire within you be smothered by fear or delay. I have placed a light in you not to be hidden under a table, but to illuminate the room, to brighten someone's life. Every word you share, every act of love, every step of obedience is a seed of restoration I am sowing through you. Rise up, beloved, not in the weary posture of one burdened, but in the victorious stance of one who knows whose they are. The new beginning is not far off, it is here, in this very moment. When you choose to believe I am still at work in you, I am rewriting your story with strokes of grace, colors of hope, and the unfading light of love. And do you know something? I still sing over you like a father unable to contain his joy at the return of his child. Not because you accomplished something great, but simply because you are mine. In every trial, in every shadow, that song still resounds and it carries your name. For the love I have for you is a love that never retreats. My beloved, there are moments in life when you feel as if you're walking through a dense fog, unable to see the path ahead, unable to hear my voice, believing you are alone in this vast and cold world. But let me say this again, with all the tenderness and certainty of a loving father, I have never left you, not for a single moment. Even when you cannot feel me, I am there, closer than your breath, present in every heartbeat, in every upward glance filled with longing. I know the plans I have for your life, not fragile schemes that change like the shifting winds of human will, but eternal purposes written by my own loving and wise hand. I crafted your design with a heart full of hope, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. When you are lost, I still lead. When you fall, He still lift. When you are silent, He still listen. My love does not depend on your feelings or your situation. It is a firm foundation that cannot be shaken. Can you feel it, that quiet yearning deep within, longing for something greater, deeper, eternal? That is not weakness. nor is it some vague emptiness. It is the eternity I placed in your heart, a reminder that you do not belong to this passing world, that you were made not just to live, work, and die, but to walk in sacred communion with the Creator, the one who saw you in the hidden place, who knows every cell in your body, who calls you by name and longs for your love. No earthly relationship, no matter how close, can fill the space in your soul where only I can dwell. No success is grand enough, no applause loud enough to replace the fulfillment of walking with me. For only in me are you made complete. You may try to find it in people, in status, in work, in praise, but you will still feel empty, because your soul remembers where it truly belongs. Come back, my child, not with fear or shame, but with a simple faith, believing that my arms are still open, still waiting, still loving you as I did from the very beginning. I did not come to condemn you. I came to embrace you, to dry your tears, to restore what was lost. You may look back and see years washed away by mistakes, by pain, by choices you wish you hadn't made. But trust me, nothing lost is beyond redemption in my hands. The years the locusts have eaten, I will restore, not just the time, but your very self, your soul, your dreams, your life, and your worth. There are still chapters yet to be written in your life. New pages I am preparing, unstained by the past, inscribed with hope and grace. Don't look back as if the best is behind you. The most beautiful things are still ahead, where I lead, where my life overflows. But to walk into that place, you must place your hand in mine and believe that even through deserts, through oceans, through closed doors, I am still the one who works wonders, who makes a way, who turns the impossible into reality. Walk with me through the wilderness, not to suffer, but to see that I am the living water in dry places. Let me take you across the barren lands without fear, for I go before you as a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Let me part the seas, not only the outward trials, but the inner boundaries, your doubts, your wounds, your fear of abandonment. When you obey me, even with just one small step, you will see me move mightily. For I am the one who holds every door. When I open, no one can shut. When I call, no power can hinder. There are moments when you need do nothing but be still to know that I am God. No striving, no overreaching effort. Simply sit at my feet, listen, rest, and allow me to do the rest. Know this, my promises never fall to the ground in vain. Though the world may change, though people may shift like shadows, my heart toward you does not waver. My love remains steadfast. My choice of you is irrevocable. My purposes stand firm through all eternity. Let your heart rest in this truth. I am faithful. Yesterday I loved you. Today I still do. And tomorrow that love will only grow deeper. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you face, you remain my child. And nothing, no hardship, no trial, no height nor depth can separate you from that love. My beloved, do you know why the fires of life have not consumed you? Have you ever wondered why? In storms that no one expected you to survive, you're still here standing. Even if scarred, it is not by chance. It is not blind luck. It is grace. It is my hand covering you in the furnace, preserving you when all else broke apart. I did not bring you through the fire to destroy you. but to refine you, because something greater lies ahead, something I prepared for you before your first cry echoed in the world. I have seen what human eyes cannot see. I knew your heart before you ever understood it yourself. I planted within you a mission, a sacred calling, far beyond anything you've ever thought of yourself. Not all are chosen for this, but you were, not because you are better, stronger, or more deserving, but because I chose you. And my love never looks for a reason to love. I love because I am love. Do not think you must fix yourself perfectly before you can begin. I am not looking for a flawless vessel. I am looking for a vessel willing to be filled. I do not require you to walk with every skill, every answer. I only ask that you walk in trust, because I will do the rest. I will anoint you. I will teach you to speak words of life. I will give you wisdom that surpasses natural understanding. When you feel too weak to stand, I will be the strength in your legs, the breath in your chest, the voice within your soul. Do not look to the world to find life. It cannot give you what only I possess. Do not drink from dry wells temporary pleasures, artificial lights, empty promises, for they only leave your soul more parched. Do not trade true life for things that leave you hollow. Instead, return to me, the only source that never runs dry. Spend time in my presence, not as a duty, but as a vital need. Hear me through the pages of my word, for there you will find yourself. Speak with me, not with polished phrases or perfect form, but with honesty. I do not require eloquence. I want to hear your heart, even if it's a sigh, a whispered question, or a tear-soaked prayer. I am not seeking religious ritual. I am seeking relationship. I do not want you to come only on holidays or in crisis, then leave when things are calm. I want you every day with all of who you are. Even the parts you feel are not enough. Because to me, you are always enough to be loved, enough to be heard, enough to be used. I want your heart, not just your hands working for me, not just moral deeds, not just the title of believer. I long for closeness. I desire truth in the deepest parts of your soul. Let me into those darkened rooms you've locked away. Show me the wounds you've hidden, the dreams you buried, the prayers you thought I never heard. Because I have heard, I have known, I have always been there, and nothing in you has ever caused me to turn away. This is the moment, my child. Not one day, not when you're ready, but now, right where you are, in the very season you're living. I don't need an upgraded version of you. I want you honest, broken, longing. There are great things I desire to reveal. There are souls I want to touch through your life. There are doors I am opening, but only when you are willing to walk in trust. Do not delay out of fear. Do not turn back because of the past. Do not measure your worth through the lens of the world. I see what you do not. I call you out of the shadows and into the light of eternal purpose. You were not made to drift, but to influence, not to hide, but to shine, not to live in anxiety, but to walk by faith. And for this very reason, I will walk with you every day, every hour, every moment. However you see yourself today, too weak, too late, too lost, I still say, you are the one I have chosen. And when you choose me, not a system, not a label, but me, I will lead you into new life, a life not governed by fear, but ruled by hope, a life not measured by what you do, but by the one to whom you belong. My precious child, pause every distraction and open your heart to hear me, not with fleshly ears, but with your deep inner spirit. Because what I am about to say is life, it is breath from my being. It is truth that can free your soul from the invisible chains tightening quietly around you. In a world of falsehood and confusion, where standards constantly shift and light and darkness blur, what you need now more than ever is not human wisdom, but my unchanging truth. This is not mere knowledge to comprehend, it is a way to live. My child, know that I do not come to you as a stern judge. I come as a father, earnestly, tenderly speaking to the child I love deeply, not to condemn, but to awaken, not to frighten, but to shine light into the hidden places of your heart with the flame of eternal love. Because if you are not awake, you will be drawn away without noticing. If you are not anchored, you will drift, not by violent waves, but by calm waters that seem harmless. I have heard your soul respond to my call. I know you love me, even when that love is mingled with doubt, weariness, or misunderstanding. But now, I want to take you deeper, deeper than surface religion, deeper than quick promises, deeper than partial obedience, because you need to understand this. My child, temptation does not always wear an evil face. It does not always roar, nor appear as a trap. Often, it comes with a soft voice, wrapped in logic, disguised in comfort, and sometimes it looks like something you think you deserve. I am 6. It does not storm into your life, it waits, patiently, whispering half-truths into your heart that you can delay, surrender, that you can love me just enough. That full devotion can wait. And my child, those whispers are the most dangerous, not because they are strong, but because they are subtle, so subtle that you miss their weight. One small compromise today can become chains tomorrow. A distracted glance, a brief forgetting, a fleeting satisfaction, all can pull you far from the eternal life I intended for you. Do not underestimate the power of habits formed by little things. Do not dismiss the quiet decisions of the heart, for those are what build or break your soul. Day by day, I have seen many of my children drift, not because they rejected me outright, but because they allowed the temporary to take my place bit by bit, until my presence became a distant memory rather than a living priority. You were not made for a half-hearted life. I did not create you to love me in part, to trust me halfway, to follow me only when convenient. My love for you has never been half-measured. I gave my whole self, without holding anything back. From the heights of heaven, I came to bear what you could not. From life, I entered death so you might live. From glory, I stepped into shame so you could be restored. That love does not demand you repay it, but it invites you to live wholly, not out of obligation, but because you've been touched by a love beyond compare. My child, when you surrender your heart entirely to me, every thought, every decision, every desire, you step into true power. It is a power not born of striving, but of surrender. When you choose to resist even the smallest temptation, you are anchoring your soul in a world teeming with chaos. When you live for me, not just in grand gestures, but in the smallest daily choices, in your words, your gaze, your thoughts, you are defeating the enemy with what it despises most, a holy life. Holiness is not moral pride. It is a life that reflects my light undistorted. Unending. It is your voice becoming a witness for me amidst a lost generation. It is your presence becoming an instrument through which I reveal my love and truth to a dying world. I am seeking not perfect people, but those willing to yield, tender, genuine hearts, not cloaked in religion, but ablaze with my fire. My child, though not lose your spiritual sensitivity. Do not let my voice be drowned out among the many that clamor for your attention. Guard your heart. Let me be the first you seek each morning and the last you think of before sleep. Choose faithfulness, even when no one sees. Choose obedience, even when it is not appealing. Choose me not just once, but every day, every hour, every moment. And when you choose this path, when you offer your whole heart, you will encounter what many have never touched, a life of abundance that does not come from what the world gives, but from my presence. The peace you will know cannot be taken away. The joy you receive will surpass every sorrow, and the reward awaiting you is not only in the end, but in my companionship today and forevermore. My beloved child, I see the battles you are facing, the silent struggles that no one around you notices. I see the weariness in your soul when you must choose between what is right and what is easy, between the light and the darkness that masquerades as light. I understand the unseen pressures of this world and the inner whispers that cause you to doubt yourself. There are times when you wonder, why do I feel so different? And I say to you, it is because I have placed something holy within you. My spirit lives in you, not as a vague concept, but as a living source, an unshakable power. When others chase after goals I never ordained, when your soul feels like a stranger in the crowd, when your heart longs for me but your flesh grows weary, it is my spirit who will remind you, who will soothe your thirst, who will keep the fire in your heart burning bright. You do not walk into this battle alone. I do not leave you to fight amidst the battlefield by yourself. I have placed a sword in your hand, my word, not lifeless text, but spirit and life, able to divide soul and spirit, to drive out darkness when spoken in faith. And not only a sword, you also have a shield, my unfailing presence. Though the enemy hurls fiery arrows or sharp doubts, if you dwell in the shadow of my wings, nothing can harm your soul. Never think you must overcome temptation by your own strength. I have never asked you to be strong apart from me. I simply invite you to walk with me in every glance, every word, every step, every breath, not only in quiet moments of prayer, but in your work, your service, your studies, your rest. I am not distant, I am here, even in the smallest, most ordinary details. Do not divide your life into compartments, one part for me, one for work, one for family, one for yourself. I did not create you to live with a segmented faith. I am not just the God of your early morning devotions. I am not confined to worship songs or large gatherings. I am your God at all times, in all places. You do not need to enter a cathedral to worship me. Your heart, when fully turned toward me, is the place I delight to dwell. When you wash dishes with gratitude, when you do a small task with love, when you help someone without anyone knowing, it is all worship. If done with an awareness of my presence, every action, every decision, every whisper can become holy. If you offer it in trust, do not let human-made distinctions limit your worship. There is no boundary between the ordinary and the spiritual when you live in me. When your heart beats in rhythm with mine, then building a business, teaching a class, cooking a meal, caring for a child, sitting quietly under a tree, all become sacred acts. For I am there. I delight in it. I desire that you live with integrity, not one person in worship and another in daily life. I desire wholeness, that you live in honesty, that you breathe in and out my very life, that every moment becomes an opportunity to walk closer with me. You may think I delight in you only when you are praying, reading the scriptures, or working for my kingdom. But my child, I also delight when you smile at a child, when you give without expecting in return, when you sit quietly and are simply grateful to be alive. These simple acts, if born of love and obedience, are a pleasing offering to me. The communion I seek is not a string of mechanical rituals, but a living relationship where you know that I am not only the one you need, but the one you desire to be near. I do not want you to know me only through sermons or second-hand stories. I want you to know me through experience, through tears, through joy, through your stumbles and the hand that lifts you up again, mine. You can trust me not only when you stand on the mountaintop, but also when you lie awake in the still of night, not only in moments of triumph, but in times of confusion and wandering. I am the one who never changes, and my love does not withdraw when you fail. It does not weaken when you grow weary. It does not vanish when you doubt. My love is the unshakable foundation. So, my child, live with a whole heart. Offer every moment to me, not because I am the God who demands, but because I am the God who desires to walk with you, breath by breath, day by day. Let me into every part of your life, even the ones you think are too ordinary for me to care about. For with me, nothing is too small if it concerns you. I love every part of you, and I long to dwell in every moment you live, without division, without hiding, without limits. I am the God who never leaves, and you are the child I never stop loving. Live in that truth. Walk in that truth. And let everything you do, even the simplest things, become a song of worship that pleases my heart. My beloved child, this is what my heart longs for, not a life full of dazzling works that impress the world, but a quiet heart that walks faithfully with me, one step at a time. I do not seek greatness from you by human standards, but a steadfast love poured out daily in unseen choices, in uncelebrated sacrifices, in whispered prayers heard only by me. Living for me is not about wearing a mask of holiness at certain times. It is not a string of so-called spiritual acts done to gain approval. It is a real life where I am invited into every corner of your soul, where I am not just a part, but the whole. When you open your eyes in the morning, when you eat, when you work, when you speak, when you are exhausted, it is in those very moments that I call you to walk with me. That is presence, not just mine in you, but yours in me. What I treasure is when you choose me, not in loud music or crowded gatherings, but in the quiet of your room. In the moment, you stand before a choice, and though no one else sees, you choose what is right, what is true. You choose me. It is there in the unrecognized decisions, in the silent no to temptation, that you are truly living for me, truly loving me with all your heart. And my child, do not think that temptation always comes dressed in obvious evil and destruction. No, it arrives far more subtly than you imagine. It comes when you're too busy to remember what matters most. It hides behind pride, disguised as independence. It wears the cloak of responsibility, but underneath lies selfishness. It pretends to be the voice of reason, when in truth, it is fear refusing to surrender. Temptation doesn't only dwell in things that are clearly wrong, it seeps into what appears good when that good does not come from me. Therefore, the most important thing is not that you strive to fight temptation with your own strength. What matters most is that you remain in me. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. This is not merely advice, it is a life-giving command. When you anchor your heart in me, when you root yourself in my love, temptation loses its voice. Darkness cannot dwell in radiant light. When you allow my presence to fill you, there is no space left for false enticements. Come close to me, not because you have to, but because you want to, not as a duty, but as something as natural as breath to lungs, as water to a thirsty tree. You were not created to struggle through spiritual loneliness. You were made to dwell in me, like a branch connected to the vine. When you are in me, in truth, in love, in grace, you will no longer be drawn to the fleeting. Your mind is renewed, your vision transformed, and the desires within you begin to change. The world no longer captivates you as it once did, for you have tasted something better. Once you've known the sweetness of my presence, everything else begins to fade. Holiness, what once felt daunting, now becomes your longing, not because it makes you better than others, but because it is the only path to complete communion with me. And, my child, there is no greater joy. No earthly satisfaction compares to the moment your soul knows it is in its rightful place in the embrace of the one who loved you before you knew how to love me in return. Do not fear the ordinary days. Do not overlook the simple moments. In those very seconds that seem meaningless, if you are present with me, they become sacred. A forgiving glance, a gentle word, an embrace full of mercy, each can become worship, if done for me. You don't need to preach to thousands to glorify my name. Just choose faithfulness every day, and I will use that quiet life to do mighty things. My child, I do not need you to be perfect. I need you to be honest. I'm not waiting for you to become good enough to approach me. I want you to come as you are, raw, weary, bare, and let me do the rest. When you choose me not with loud declarations, but with quiet surrender, you move heaven. When you silently turn away from wrong even though no one sees, I see. When you remain faithful in what seems small, I take notice, and not one tear shed in the name of that faithfulness will be wasted. Abide in me. Keep choosing me, even when no one applauds, even when there is no visible result, even when you feel nothing remarkable, continue. For I am there. I see. I know. And I am working something deep within you, something you have not yet perceived. One day, you will look back and see that it was those quiet, faithful years that laid the foundation for every blessing I poured out. So, my beloved child, choose me each morning, each time your heart trembles, each time temptation knocks. Choose me, no show, no perfection, just truth. And I, the faithful one, will be there forever, the place you belong. My dear child, there is a deep and loving reason why I gave you my word, not as a burden to carry, not as a rigid code to conform to, but as a gentle lamp to light each step in your darkest nights. My word is not mere letters on a page, it is my breath, my life, the map that leads you through dry deserts into the land I've promised. It is my voice to you. When the world shouts and leaves you confused, my word has the power to resurrect what has died within you. It is the refreshing stream in the thirst of your soul. It instructs you in truth, corrects you in love, and brings wisdom to the uncertain places of your life. When you hide my word in your heart, not to forget it, but to treasure it, you build a foundation unshakable by any force. When the storms of temptation come, when lies begin to whisper into your ears, it is my word that will remind you, you are mine. You are not alone, and you have the truth to lean on. Do not let my word become a mere decoration, sitting quietly on your bookshelf or buried in old memory. Do not let it gather dust with time, or be lost among the hurried priorities of life. Let it soak into your heart like rain into dry ground. Let it shape how you see yourself, others, and the world. Let it be the first whisper of the morning and the last song of the night. Memorize it not only with your mind, but with the way you live. My word is living, active, powerful. It does not sleep on the pages, it longs to live within you, act through you, and transform you from within. When you speak my word, it carries the power to break chains, to heal, to restore. When it flows from your lips, it is not just sound, it is life being released. So do not hesitate to let my word be the strongest voice within you. But child, be watchful, for the enemy does not begin with actions. He begins with a thought, a small seed. If not pulled up, will grow and take root in your heart. A fall does not begin with a clear decision, but with unchecked thoughts, tiny imaginations, hidden fears, ideas you let repeat without confronting them with truth. I have not left you to fight in confusion. I have shown you how to take every thought captive and bring it into obedience to my truth. Do not entertain the voices in your mind that I did not send. Do not nurture fantasies that cause you to doubt me, doubt yourself, or the value of others. Everything begins in the mind. And if you do not guard the gates of your heart, even the smallest things will sneak in and steal the throne meant for me. Choose what is good. Think on what is pure, noble, excellent, and praiseworthy, not because it is easy, but because it is right. When you learn to pause in the rush and ask, where did this thought come from? Where is it leading me? You will discover the power of discernment. This is how I train you, not with sword and shield, but through the renewal of your mind. I have given you a sound mind, a living spirit. Nourish it with truth, with prayer, with daily vigilance. Guard your eyes from what causes you to stumble. Guard your ears from voices that carry poison. Watch over every gate to your heart, for it is the river of life. When your soul is pure, life flows freely, like sweet water from a clear spring. I call you to holiness, not to rigidity or withdrawal, but to become like me. Holiness is not pressure, it is freedom. Freedom not to be bound by darkness, not to be driven by lust, not to be swayed by the world's siren song. Holiness means being set apart for a higher purpose, to live a life that is not wasted, not aimless, not tossed by every emotional wind. Oh, beloved child, you are not merely called to survive, you are called to live fully, to walk in the light, to exist in this world without being of it. I do not demand that you never think a wrong thought, but I give you the ability to discern and choose. When my word is in your heart, my spirit within you, and your mind is being renewed each day, you will have the strength to overcome. And if you stumble, if there are moments you fall, Moments you let impure thoughts take root. I do not turn away. I call you back. Each day is a new chance. Every moment is an invitation to return to the truth that you are loved. You are forgiven. You are called. Keep walking. Let my word become your second breath, unseen, but alive, silent, but powerful. My beloved child, everything I speak to you, every call to holiness does not come from an angry God demanding perfection, but from the heart of a kind and loving Father who understands your every fragile breath. Holiness is not a burden laid upon your shoulders, but a gift freely given, so that you may walk in true freedom, a freedom unbound by the demands of self or the invisible chains of the world. The world will try to pour into your ears an alluring message, that to live recklessly is to live fully, that chasing every feeling and desire is the path to happiness. But my child, I tell you this, it is not so. Freedom does not come from doing whatever you please, but from living according to truth. The recklessness the world calls liberation is, in truth, a path to bondage, bondage to emotions, to cravings, to things that seem sweet but leave only bitterness behind. The path I have prepared for you may be narrow. Indeed, it is not wrapped in silken ease. It is not always easy to tread, but it is the path that leads to life abundant, meaningful, full life. For I am the one who has gone before you on that path. I know every uneven stone, every steep climb, every twist and turn, and because of that, I will not let you walk it alone. I provide all that you need, not merely to endure, but to overcome. My grace, it is a wellspring of power that never runs dry. You cannot walk in holiness by willpower alone, but my grace will carry you beyond your own strength. Grace is not a license to sin. It is the fuel to live differently, to live as one redeemed, no longer a slave to darkness, but a child of light. My Spirit, He is not merely a comforting presence, but living power. He dwells in you to remind, to warn, to guide, and to strengthen you each time you face temptation. You are never alone in the battle between right and wrong. I am with you, and nothing can stand against you if you cling to me. My word, it is steady as a rock, unchanging with time or feeling. My promises are not like those of people here today, gone tomorrow. They are eternal guarantees. When you hold my word in your heart, when you make it your compass, then no matter how strong the winds of life may blow, you will not be swept away. Do not let anyone, not even yourself, say, "Just a little won't hurt." Sin never stays idle. It begins as a small crack in the wall, but if left unchecked, it will destroy the foundation. Like yeast in dough, just a little, yet it spreads through the whole. So too, even one neglected corner of your life can dim the brilliant light I have placed within you. Sin is not merely a wrong act. It dulls your sensitivity to the holy. It muffles the whisper of the Spirit. It causes you to feel less and less the weight of wrongdoing, and that is the most dangerous place to be. It blurs your vision of me. It hardens your heart. And when the heart hardens, love feels distant. And though I am always ready to forgive, arms open to receive you home, my heart longs for more than a cycle of fall, repent, fall, repent. I long to see you grow. I want you to walk securely, not as one always afraid of stumbling, but as one who stands firm in the truth they know, strong, full of hope, full of life. You were not created just to survive. I did not form you to live on the fragile line between light and shadow. I want you to step out boldly, joyfully, as one truly set free. I want you to live a whole life with no hidden corners, no secret shame, no burdensome guilt. Choose to live in the light. Let truth shine into the places you once kept hidden. Let my love not only forgive, but restore. Allow me not only to wash you clean, but to make you new once and for all. You are my beloved child. I do not want you to hang your head in defeat. I want you to lift it high, because you know you are forgiven. You are called. You are chosen to live a victorious life. And, my child, this is where true joy is born, not in indulgence, but in intimacy with me, not in the fleeting promises of sin, but in the eternal things I have prepared. I know what is best for you, and I withhold no good thing from those who walk uprightly. So do not live merely to escape judgment. Live to taste the fullness of joy, the joy that flows from a pure heart, a renewed mind, a life with nothing to hide. Live as one unconditionally loved, truly set free, and sent to shine in a world aching for what is real. My dear child, live, but not just to get by, not out of routine or resignation. Live for me and with me, in every second, every breath, every heartbeat. I did not create you just to breathe, eat, and wait for time to pass. I gave you life so that every heartbeat, every breath, might become a song offered to heaven. Every step a loving response to the one who called you out of darkness. Do not let pressure or worry suffocate the true life within you. The watchfulness I call you to is not anxious tension, but spiritual sensitivity where you don't miss even my smallest movements in the flow of daily life. Be aware, I am not on the edge of your story. I am not a distant star, not a cold force on high. I am the one who walks with you gentle, faithful, enduring closer than your breath. Do everything as if for me, because it truly is. No task is too small to matter to me. No moment too mundane for my presence. When you work, don't do it just to make a living, to meet expectations, or to please others. Do it as an act of worship. Let your hands be my instruments, your words a stream of my grace, your mind a place of my light. When you speak, don't speak just to be heard, but to bring life. Let every word you speak carry the imprint of the gentleness I placed in you, the truth I've written upon your heart, and even in your rest which I designed, so you may be restored. Rest in me. Don't let weariness pull you into distraction. Let stillness become the space where you reconnect with your source of life. Let each night's sleep be not just a pause, but an act of surrender, as if to say, Father, all that I cannot control, I place in your hands. That is not laziness, it is faith. Then, when you rise out of bed, out of your home, out of your comfort zone, remember, you do not walk alone. You carry me, not as a burden, but as a quiet flame lighting your path ahead. Let the purpose I placed within your heart be the driving force behind every action. You don't live to check off tasks, you live to glorify me. In how you love, how you forgive, how you rise after falling. This is the secret many never discover. A fulfilled life is not about how much you do, but with whom you do it. Not about doing more, doing better, doing best, but about doing it with me. When I am your first heartbeat each morning, your first breath in anxiety, the prayer you whisper without sound, then you are living as I designed. You may wonder how to manage when everything feels important. Work, dreams, duties, family, service. So many things demand your time and strength. But my child, remember, when I am first, everything else falls into place. When I am the center, the rest will revolve rightly around me. You don't have to choose between a spiritual life and an earthly one. What I desire is that you invite me into them all. Family, work, dreams. Calling each can become my dwelling place. If you welcome me in, I do not ask you to abandon your job to follow me. I do not demand you leave your situation. No, I want you to live right there, with me, and for me. In the meeting room, the office, the kitchen, the classroom, that is where you can be. My disciple, that is where you can shine. A lamp, not hidden under a table. That is where my word comes alive through your actions, through how you love, endure, forgive, and walk in hope. You don't have to run away. I don't want you to flee hard things. I want you to entrust them to me. When life feels too heavy, when responsibilities stack high and fear whispers, "You're not enough," come back to me. Lay that burden at my feet. You don't have to carry it all, for I have carried the heaviest part already. All you must do is trust, walk, and invite me into every small thing. Live with me, breathe in me, work for me, rest through me, rise, walk, love, forgive, endure all for me. And when you live this way, you'll discover this: you no longer live by the frantic, pressured rhythm of the world. You live by the rhythm of heaven, the rhythm of grace, of peace, of purpose. You don't need to prove your worth, because you know you are loved. You don't need to control outcomes, because you know I am at work. You don't need to worry about tomorrow, because you know that I, the one who began the good work in you, will surely bring it to completion. My beloved child, when your heart is wholly turned toward me, when you offer it completely, without holding anything back for the world, then everything you do, no matter how small, no matter how unseen, becomes precious in my eyes. A simple act done in love and obedience holds more value than the most dazzling yet hollow rituals. You may not see the results right away, nor hear the applause of men, but in heaven, every drop of sweat, every timely word, every quiet yet righteous choice is recorded. Nothing is forgotten. I know there are days when you feel weary, when the light within you seems faint, when your efforts go unnoticed. But, my child, I see you. I hear your sighs. I know every moment you choose to let go of anger and embrace forgiveness. Every time you choose silence when it would be easier to retaliate. Every time you choose love when it would be simpler to walk away. Each of these is a treasure not on earth, where moth and rust can destroy, but with me, in eternity, where nothing can be stolen. No action is meaningless when it flows from a surrendered heart. Even if all you offer is a cup of cold water, if it is done in my name, it is remembered in my heart. For I do not measure you by outward outcomes, but by faithfulness in the hidden places. It is in the unseen, off-stage moments where I am shaping maturity in you, because that is where you are becoming like me. And, my child, I plead with you, do not tread lightly upon the blood that was shed for you. Live as one who knows the cost that was paid, so you could be free. Live with the awareness that this sacrifice is not some distant historical event, but a living reality, one that continues to make a way for you each day. Let that blood-soaked love ignite in you a deep gratitude, not to burden you with guilt, but to empower you to live with joy and true surrender. I do not require a moral performance from you. I am not seeking outward perfection. What I long for is communion, a living connection where you dare to come to me daily, unmasked, unfiltered, simply as you are, honest, broken, but yearning, and in that nearness, I will shape you, not to bind you, but to set you free, not to harden you, but to make you tender and strong at once, just like me. Let me refine you not with the fire of wrath, but with the fire of love. It may hurt for a while, but it is the pain that brings life. Like the potter who needs the clay to form the most beautiful vessel, I am molding you, not to destroy, but to make you useful, pleasing, bearing my image. You are called to live a set-apart life, not shaped by the world, not swept away by tides of compromise and deception. You are not made to blend in, but to stand out like a spark in the night, not in pride, but in holy humility, not to judge others, but to love them with a genuine love, to become the hand that reaches them and brings them to me. Remember, you were not only saved from sin, but saved for a purpose. Every day you live is an opportunity to reflect me, not just through sermons or proclamations, but through your gaze, your forgiveness, your patience, your hope. You are my living epistle, and many will never step into a church, but they will read me through your life. What I desire is not an empty title of believer, but a soul truly alive in me, walking not only away from evil, but walking in power, in love, in the radiance of life. This is holiness not marked by dryness, but overflowing with joy. This is consecration not meant to isolate, but to become a lighthouse in a restless sea. And, my child, I myself will do this work in you. You are not called to strive alone. I do not give you a calling without also giving you the strength to walk it out. I will go before you. I will walk beside you. I will remind you. I will uphold you. I will be there when you are weak, when you are strong, when you doubt, and when you sing. So let your heart be wholly mine. Let everything you do, whether great or small, whether hidden or seen, become a holy offering, pleasing in my sight. And when you live this way, you will not only live a meaningful life, you will become meaning for others. You will be an echo of life, a reminder that hope remains, that light still triumphs over darkness. My beloved child, you are not only rescued from darkness, from sin, from your past and the invisible chains that once bound you, but you were saved for something sacred, a purpose far greater than anything you ever dared to dream. You were chosen not just to escape destruction, but to live a life full of meaning, of eternal significance, a life that reflects me, the one who created you. You are not just someone who was saved. You are someone who was sent. You are not just someone who was forgiven. You are someone who has been equipped. Within you is not only life, but mission. In your heart is not only love received, but love ready to be poured out into a thirsty world. You carry a royal identity, not because of your standing in the eyes of people, but because you are the child of the King of Kings. And so, you do not live aimlessly. You live with direction, with light to guide you, with truth to guard you, and with one to worship for all your days. Oh, my child, do not wait for some ideal moment to live for me. Do not think that only inside church walls, or only in silence, can you serve me. I call you to live for me, right in the midst of everyday life. Among the bustling streets, between the shelves at the store, in front of your computer at work, along the dusty, hurried roads. I call you to live for me in every moment, not as a burden, but as an honor, a loving response. Let me be the first heartbeat of your morning, the deep breath in your sorrow, the laughter in your noonday rush, the last echo when your day fades. I am not the God of one day a week. I am the God of every moment. I am not only the one who listens during your prayer times, I am the one walking beside you through every thought, every word, every glance, every choice, every rhythm of your life. So let me be the center not only of your professed faith, but of your whole life. Do not let anything else take the place that belongs to me. Do not let success, or fear, or worry, or even my own blessings become idols that replace me. When your gaze turns from me, your heart will grow cold, and true joy will feel distant. The enemy does not need to make you fall immediately. He only needs to distract you, to shift your focus more to the work than the one who gave it, to seek security in money rather than in the one who holds you, to become busy, serving, and forget me altogether. But, my child, only when I am first can everything else find its proper place. I do not call you to live in austerity, but in connection. When I am your center, your joy will not be tied to circumstances. Your peace will not be stolen by storms. Your strength will not be shaken by trials. For I will give you all you need, not what you think you need, but what truly keeps you alive and fully alive. I will give you strength, not the world's strength, but the power of my Spirit, strength to love when it's hard, to forgive when you are wounded, to be faithful when no result is visible, to stand firm when others walk away. I will give you peace, not the shallow peace that comes only when things are smooth, but the deep, still peace that remains unshaken by outward chaos. That peace comes from knowing I hold your hand, that every step, whether up the mountain or through the valley, is held in my sovereign care, and I will give you joy, a joy not born of possessions or praise, but of my presence in every new day, the joy of one who knows to whom they belong, why they live, and that they are part of a story far greater than themselves, the glorious story of my eternal kingdom. You don't need to be a preacher on a platform to impact the world. Every day you live for me, every choice to love, to forgive, to remain pure, to speak truth, to do good. You are building something far greater than what human eyes can see. You are sowing seeds for the kingdom. You are living out the very purpose for which I created you. So live fully. Live boldly. Live faithfully, not because you must, but because you get to, because you were saved for this, because you carry light, because you are my witness, because you were called not by the world, but by me, my beloved child. Each morning you open your eyes is a new beginning, to live for my glory. Each step is a chance to reveal me to a world aching for what is real. So go not in your own strength, but with the trust that I go before you. I walk beside you, and I live within you. For you were not just saved from, you were saved for mission, for love, for the kingdom. And I rejoice to see you walk in that day by day, hour by hour, breath by breath. My beloved child, let this word be engraved deep within your heart as an eternal seal. I am your sufficiency. Not in part, not temporarily, not only when you are good or righteous, but always, everywhere, in every circumstance, when you find yourself in lack. I am your provision. When you feel weak, I am your strength. When you do not know the way, I am your guide. When fear grips your soul, I am peace that surpasses all understanding. You are never alone. You never were, and you never will be. Even when your eyes cannot see, even when your heart wavers in doubt, the truth remains unchanged. My presence is always with you. I go before you to prepare the way, behind you to protect, and beside you to uphold. Every step you take, whether across barren wilderness or on windswept hills, is covered by my grace. There is no place you will go that I have not already been. There is no moment in your life when I have left you, not even for a breath. My Spirit, the Comforter, the Teacher, the Reminder, dwells within you, not as a mere concept, but as a living, powerful reality. He will remind you when you forget, guide you when you are uncertain, and help you discern truth from deceit. He will soften your heart when it grows hardened, rekindle the flame of faith when it feels dimmed, and speak on your behalf when your prayers become only tears. And one day, a day you do not yet know but I have appointed, when your final breath leaves this body, it will not be the end. No, my child, it will be the beginning. When your eyes close to this world, they will open in my glorious light. All pain will dissolve. All questions will be answered. Every tear will be wiped away by my loving hand. And you will hear my voice, no longer a whisper in your soul, but a radiant echo in glory. Well done, my good and faithful servant. No praise on earth can compare to those words. No reward can surpass the joy that has been prepared for you since the foundation of the world. You will enter the place you have always belonged. No more doubt. No more tears. No more distance. And then you will understand every moment you chose to love me, to follow me, whether in loneliness, battle, or darkness, was worth it. Nothing you do in me is in vain. Every sacrifice, every prayer, every moment of resisting temptation, every act of quiet love, all are remembered. But until that day, my child, live each moment with purpose. Do not let time slip through your fingers like sand. Live as one who knows that every second is an opportunity to love, to forgive, to stand firm, to reveal me to this world. Resist the enemy, not in your own strength, but with my word, by my Spirit. And with the armor of light, the enemy will try to weary you, to make you doubt, to cause you to give up. But remember, he is already defeated, and you, in me, are victorious. Stand firm in faith, even when the winds of doubt rise. Even when the ground beneath you shakes, anchor yourself in me. For I am the unshakable rock. Cling to what I have spoken, not to what the world whispers. Remind yourself that faith is not a feeling, but a choice to believe that I am real. I am good. I am working, even when you do not see the result. Love unconditionally, not just when it's easy, but love when it hurts. Love when you are misunderstood. Love when nothing is returned. For in doing so, You reflect me, the one who loved you first, even when you opposed me. That love is not weakness, it is power. It can transform hearts, dissolve hatred, and heal what seemed long dead. Walk in obedience, not out of fear of punishment, but out of trust in the goodness of the one who calls you. Obedience is not confinement, it is the path to true freedom. Even when you do not understand, even when the road seems narrow, walk, step by step, day by day, for I walk with you. And above all, never forget that you are mine forever. Nothing in all creation, neither height nor depth, present nor future, life nor death, can separate you from my love in Christ. You are mine, sealed by the Spirit, redeemed by the blood, called by name, and held every day. And I am with you, always, in the calm of morning and the chill of night, in your rejoicing and in your breaking, in your triumphs and in your trials. I remain unchanged until the day you see me face to face. Live, live fully, live by faith, live in love, live as one who has been redeemed. For I am yours, and you are mine, forever. Now, let your heart speak to me. Offer every whisper of your soul in honesty and deep longing. Almighty and merciful God, I come before you with a heart full of longing and humility. I do not come in perfection, but with all that remains after days of confusion, weariness, and wrestling. Help me not to overlook the small things I do for you. Remind me that every quiet act, every righteous choice, though unseen, holds eternal value in your eyes. Place faithfulness deep within my soul, that when I serve, I do not seek applause, but your smile. Remind me that your presence is the most precious reward of all. Dear Father, the one who sees the hidden things, I know you have not called me to a shallow life or to chase the applause of the world. Teach me to live for your gaze, not for the eyes of others. When my heart begins to sway, when my mind is filled with distracting voices, draw me back to choose holiness over ease, love over bitterness, faithfulness over convenience. Make my life a continuous song of worship, where everything I do reflects you, even in the simplest things. O great Creator, I know you have placed an eternal purpose in me. Help me never forget why you preserved me through the storms. I did not survive just to breathe, but to live for something greater. Open my eyes to see the souls that need your light. Give me courage to rise, to live a set-apart life, not as the world lives, but as light in the darkness. I want to be hope for the hopeless, a voice for the silent, and love for the abandoned. Living God, my heart overflows with gratitude for your mercy that never ends. I thank you for seeing worth in me when I could not see it in myself. Thank you for carrying me through many dark seasons, for not letting the flames consume me, and for not letting the current sweep me away. Each day I live is proof of your faithfulness. I praise you for your unchanging love, and for never ceasing to call my name. O great Redeemer, my heart lifts in thanksgiving for your blood, shed not only to save me from sin, but to give me a new life. Thank you for the price you paid in love, not out of compulsion, but freely, completely. Help me to always live with gratitude, to live worthily, not under pressure, but through love and true fellowship with you each day. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.